A new wave of outbreaks in mainland China has spread to several provinces and cities. On December 23, 2021, the northwestern city of Xi'an was put under a citywide lockdown. The number of confirmed cases almost doubled in the following 3 days. As of December 26th, Chinese officials announced that 635 cases had been confirmed, although the public is challenging the accuracy of the official numbers. It's snowing, and people are lining up under the building for nucleic acid tests. Xi'an, an ancient city in China, has been the capital of 13 dynasties in history, including the peak of the Chinese civilization, the Tang Dynasty, during which it was one of the largest cities and the cultural center of the world. Chinese officials claim that the outbreak in Xi'an was imported by a Pakistani flight on December 4th. The outbreak in Xi'an is currently involving at least 5 provinces and 6 cities in China. The world has begun experimenting with living with the virus, shifting to vaccination against COVID-19 and easing social distance restrictions. But China is still enforcing a strict COVID-0 policy, immediately locking down communities every time a confirmed case is found, and forcing all former visitors to be tested. With the resurgence of outbreaks in China, mass testing, transportation controls, surveillance, social tracking, and community lockdowns have become a part of everyday life in China.
Xi'an 城全部封完了，现在出不去了。来好好的，现在可回不去了，没办法，就这样，也没有啥吃的，这饭馆全部关门，回也回不去，咋办呢？
Before the city was shut down, Xi'an citizens had to have a negative nucleic acid test report within 48 hours before going to work. On December 20th, the city's health code system malfunctioned. Local residents disclosed on the 21st that the city's nucleic acid collection system in Xi'an crashed, and all the nucleic acid samples taken that day were invalidated. The entire data was said to be gone. Many companies require employees to swear that they have taken a nucleic acid test before they can enter the door. Authorities blame the collapse of the health code on a sudden spike in the number of people using it. In a press conference, local officials urge people not to open the health codes when not necessary and not to refresh the system frequently. Many people criticize the local government for setting conflicting policies. One individual commented, "Who wants to open the health code if they don't have to? Aren't you the ones who ask to see it everywhere people go?" An amateur in solving problems and an expert in making demands. Now Xi'an, with a population of 13 million, has been sealed off for 5 days. Its officials say almost 29,000 people have been sent to hotels for centralized quarantine, and 278 hotels with over 41,000 rooms have been requisitioned, with an additional 41 alternate quarantined hotels with almost 8,000 rooms. The sudden closure caught many residents off guard, and everything sank into chaos.
你看这可怜不？这疫情，这商店来了一群人，把粮食米面一下给抢完了，把老10节、13节摊子给抢光了，钱都没付，给抢完了。
There is also an online video showing the chaos in Xi'an as people snatched up food. There were even children who were left unattended. Someone held up a child and asked, "Whose child is this?"
我的天哪！我还说上来买点菜，你看看，啊，这空了，里面全空了。
昨天晚上才封了村，今天大白菜就卖5块了，这都发国难财的，这不是坑人的吗？平时才卖2块钱一斤，今天卖了5块，你们看看，这西安的能待。
The entire city's neighborhoods are under closed management, and each family is only allowed to have one person go out every 2 or 3 days to purchase living supplies, and the outing requires a certificate issued by one's employer or the community committee. More than 3,500 schools, ranging from kindergarten to high school in the city, have been closed, while college students have been asked to stay on campus where closed management is scaring some students. One of the city's universities, Xi'an University, suffered the worst outbreak of the current round.
看见没？那闪着蓝光呢，从学校里开出来的。 就没停，从今天下午一直到现在就没停，每次进去都是5、6辆的进，5、6辆的出来。对面的3栋亮着灯的高层是长安大学家属院，我们等于现在在这个文艺路住着嘞，看没？出来了。
9个了，
救护车现在都不敢鸣笛了，太恐怖了！一下午就光听着救护车不停的在这儿进出，九辆这回，我天哪！看出来了多少？看见没？出来了10几辆。
A female student from Xi'an University disclosed on Weibo that the school arranged quarantine by putting girls off campus in centralized quarantine and putting boys in girls' dormitories. She was annoyed that she still had underwear in the dormitory that she hadn't been able to pack, and her valuables hadn't been put away when the school let the boys move in. In addition, the Chang'an district of Xi'an is also the hardest hit by the hemorrhagic fever outbreak, with rodents as the main source of the infection. Local residents reported that in previous years there were no rats in the strawberry greenhouses, but this year it was filled with rats, and the hospitals designated to treat hemorrhagic fever were full. Since the outbreak in Wuhan in early 2020, China has continued to adopt a strict COVID-0 policy, attempting to eradicate the COVID through quarantine and mass nucleic acid testing. However, a faster-spreading variant of Delta has also made its way into China and is now spreading. Chinese officials claim to have detected the Omicron variant imported from abroad, but so far it hasn't spread in China. After the Delta virus entered China in August 2021, Chinese anti-epidemic experts claimed that more than 80% of the Chinese population were herd immune after vaccination. As of September 12, 2021, the Chinese government announced that 2.14 billion doses of vaccine had been administered, primarily domestically produced vaccines, but didn't disclose the exact number of complete vaccinations. The effectiveness of China's domestically produced vaccines has been questioned overseas, and the introduction of existing proven technology from the West is the fastest option. mRNA vaccines are currently the most potent vaccines available worldwide. However, the CCP insists on developing the mRNA vaccine on its own. With the Beijing Winter Olympics approaching next February, the Chinese government wants to do everything possible to keep the outbreak under control. Cities with serious outbreaks are upsetting the CCP. So far, 26 government officials have been dismissed by the Xi'an Municipal Commission for discipline inspection. The CCP government doesn't have a clear standard for exactly what these officials have done wrong. It usually just uses the results as a guide to scapegoat those officials who had failed the COVID-0 policy. It has made officials elsewhere nervous, which means they will only take more extreme measures in the future in response to the outbreak.
他妈的大浦公路都封了，哎，你看看。
The CCP is caught in a political and ideological dilemma when it comes to selling itself to the Chinese people on how successful it's been in managing the pandemic. The CCP is trying to prove how successful the CCP's model of fighting the pandemic is and how superior China's political system is by using the COVID-0 strategy. The CCP fears that if they abandon it, the number of confirmed cases will rise, and the Chinese public will then question the claims made by the government and the authority of the CCP.
放船了，放船了！这把路斗的谁先不通？哎呀，这塞满那新娘直超级，满路撂的玻璃，你撂下玻璃干啥哩？想代表个啥哩？代表你智商高，你凉。
China is the first country to implement strict vaccine restrictions. Looking ahead, this red regime is likely to be the last in the world to relax such restrictions.